Can I take your order? What's good with y'all, man? This your boy Leek, you feel me, coming at y'all with another reaction video, man. Now, look, 7 p.m. Central Time, daily uploads, man. You already know what time it is. If you're not here on time, I'm going to give you a two-piece. That means two of these hot motherfuckers right here. I don't have to give you a two-piece, bro, so you better be here on time. But I appreciate the support nonetheless, guys. We have Unavoidable male Canon events, man. This is for all the guys, yo. We're going to see how accurate this video is. I got my Burger King headset, as you can see. Let's get the video cooking, man.
Male Canon events. First up, fumbling a 10 out of 10. You know, I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the worst ones in my opinion. Reason why we've all been through this. There's always been that one girl that you thought you had in the bag. I mean, she was fine, beautiful, gorgeous. I mean, in your mind, she goes band for band with Scissor Lotto and Ruby Rose. Like, you feel me? If for some wild reason you think you actually have a chance with that girl, and you try to get her, and you're doing good, and then
nah, hell no, nope, you missed me with that, bro. Fumbling a 10 out of 10. The worst possible way to fumble a 10 out of 10 is to, because she's a 10 out of 10. You kind of take your time with her, or you try not to. You don't really execute as you should, or move as efficiently as you should. And then she loses interest. Oh my gosh, guys. That shit has happened to me so many times. So many times when the ball, bro, I have the ball for the wide open layup. And I'm Wembenyama's height. Wide open layup on the break, nobody around me. And I hesitate. Now, it's a 10 out of 10. So you may be like thinking that you got to play it safe. You got to not really mess it up. You start, overthinking. You're not aggressive enough, assertive enough. And then she moves on. That's the worst fumble. Other fumbles are bad, but they're not as bad. If it was a 10 out of 10, I shot my shot. I was a little bit too aggressive, or I turned her off. I said the wrong thing, and I lost her that time. Yeah, that sucks. But for me to not even shoot yet because I'm hesitant, and then I fumbled a baddie. Oh, nigga, I ain't gonna be able to sleep at night, bro. I ain't gonna be able to sleep, eat, none of that. Breathe, nigga, bro, I'm gonna need a real breathing treatment, bro. An oxygen mask and tank, my nigga. It was some shit like that. It hasn't happened in a while, thank goodness. But, man, that's the worst type of fumble, bro. It's not even close.
Randomly one day she just goes. And for the rest of that week, you're just contemplating, scrolling through your text, looking at what you could possibly have done wrong. Thinking maybe she forgot about the text, maybe you said a weird joke, or just something random. Just whatever your brain can imagine for her to actually ghost you, because of course it's not just you. Well, nigga, hate to break it to you, she likes a guy and it's not you. Game is game. And the worst part about it is that oftentimes the next week she ends up hard launching with her new man. And when you see him, it's somebody you don't even think is better than you. Well, brother,
Right.
hate to break it to you, but he is. And then when they eventually break up, you're gonna be right back on her feet begging for her to take you back. But before
No, guys, you shouldn't be thinking people are better than you. You shouldn't be. And if they are better than you, because you do got to be realistic. If they are better than you, then you need to try to make your way to try to compete, my nigga. That's how the world is. You got to try to make your way to try to compete. If she get this nigga and he's better than you, right? If he's not better than you, that's her. Leave that bitch alone. She clearly has some mental issues to not see the fucking golden nugget right in front of her. You know what I mean? Especially if you on your shit, you check all the boxes, and she just won't give you a chance. She's stuck on somebody else. Leave her alone. You better than her. You better than her. You know what I mean?
for that, you will go through that I hate that bitch phase. After every man goes through a heartbreak, they always hate the girl for a little bit. It's inevitable, bro. Every single bad thing that you've noticed and garnered about her in the past couple of years, it just kind of comes flowing back into your brain in one rushing, angry moment until it eventually boils over and you realize you don't really hate her. You're just sad that she's gone. But you still go through the phase, though. Then you get sad and you're a little bit depressed and you're wondering why it didn't work out. Maybe you'll never find love again. Maybe something else won't happen. I don't know. You just stress. But usually you end up doing all of this stressing late at night, which leads you to the third male Canon event, 3 a.m. motivational workout. I can speak for all of us. We've all been.
This nigga speaking facts. Damn, this nigga speaking facts, bro. He low-key leading it all the way up. You go through that breakup or that heartbreak, you get the scrolling, you see some motivational stuff. You like, all right, fucker. I'm about to change my life. That's better than doing nothing. That's better than moping around and being a crybaby. That motivation, but it's what you do with that motivation. You're going to keep on going every day and keep on grinding. Because, guys, y'all got to understand. You will never lose the hoes chasing the money, chasing your goals. But you will lose your goals and lose your money chasing the hoes. Leek said it here. Leek said it here. You should live by that standard. Chase your goals no matter what, bro. The girl's gonna always come along. And then the thing is, once you reach your goals anyway, you know, you're gonna have more access to badder bitches. So at the end of the day, you need to chase your goals no matter what, guys. You need to. If that's rich, being famous, chase it, bro. Chase it, bro. Because the girl that you stressing about that's oh so sexy and oh so this, bro, you'll be able to have 10 of them at once if you wanted to. Like, guys, y'all know loyalty comes from a woman because she has so many options, right? That's where her loyalty and stuff comes in. She got all these options. She chose you. The loyalty comes in is that she chose you when you had nothing. On the other end, as a guy, when you have everything is when your loyalty is tested. Because when you have everything that means you have the hoes, you have the money, you got girls willing to do anything that. But on the downside, there's no substance and no real genuine love. You know, once you meet them girls, so it's a weird trade-off. But people gotta understand that women and men, they live two different types of lives, bro. Two different types of lives. If I'm just handsome and I'm poor and broke as shit, the shorties ain't gonna want me as much. They not. You feel me? But a shorty, she can work at McDonald's and she can look good as hell. That ain't gonna make or break our situation. Especially if I'm already rich. She can be fucking working at McDonald's. She can be a nice woman. Hey, you never have to work again, my baby. Yeah, I mean, that's how it can be. But it's not the same for each gender, bro.
Been through. Whether it was a breakup or a heartbreak, or maybe you just realized you're a bum. You went through that phase where you thought at 3 a.m. in the morning you was gonna change the world. You started doing push-ups, started watching David Goggins videos, and you're up all night feeling motivated and thinking that you're finna rule the world. You're finna be the most swole, chiseled, drizzled, gizzled, diggled, fadiddled, top tier man that you can be. And then you wake up after you pass out on the floor from push-ups. Look at your surroundings, realize your room is still dirty, and then eventually come to the realization that you'll never be that guy. But you know something else that can send you into this motivational arc? Canon event number 4, going bald. I promise you, every single person watching this video has gone through this phase, and most of the time it's because of your dad. Brother, I am gonna tell you right now, for the first 5 years of my life, I had to be completely butt naked Michael Jordan bald. Because when my dad was 28, he stopped growing hair, and ever since that day, he decided that he didn't want me to grow hair either. And it was the most aggravating thing of my life. And I'm sure every single one of y'all went through that same thing. And the worst part about it is that after he allowed me to have hair, he only allowed my hair to get to a certain length, which is known as the bald phase, which most of us have gone through, especially black children. And the worst part about this is that back then, when I was growing up, the mohawk was very popular. It was during the LaMelo, Odell mohawk phase, and everybody and their mother wanted a mohawk. And I wanted that so bad, but no, I couldn't get it because my dad said, and I quote, "If you get a mohawk, you have to walk around naked everywhere because the mohawk tribe did." Yeah, I don't know why that nigga said that. That was some fucked up shit. But basically, he was just trying to get me to be bald like him. So, hey, yeah, I guess it kind of worked. For a little bit. Yeah, we got these. But something else that dads often made us do was help them around the house. And one thing that I know for sure that we all went through was our dads getting mad at us when we didn't hand them their tools fast enough. My brother in Christ, I have almost been shot, almost lost my life. Heck, I thought I had AIDS at one point. But I have never been more scared in my life than when I used to help my dad do work around the crib. Because for some reason, dads just have a big fascination with doing mechanical work around the house. And while they're actively doing this act of stupidity, most likely messing up the whole house, they decide to exert their frustrations on their kid that they told them to help. And my brother in Christ, I know every single person watching this video can relate. If you didn't hand your dad that tool as soon as he asked you to, or if you moved a tiny little bit when he asked you to shine the flashlight somewhere, the amount of anger and rage that man will exert onto your body would be scarier than meeting a polar bear in the Arctic who hasn't eaten for weeks. weeks. And honestly, I've experienced a lot of trauma from doing stuff like this. Like, the amount of trauma I've gone through from just holding tools is probably equivalent to the slaves back in the olden times. But after this, as a kid, you know, you can get pretty traumatized, scared, but also angry from what your father did. So angry that you even think about potentially fighting him. It would also be the worst mistake you ever made in your life, because he will beat your ass. Every single man in his life has thought about fighting his dad. I say fighting for a reason, because you will never beat him. I don't know what it is about fathers, but like, they will never lose to their son, period.
Yeah,
especially
fact.
this. Like, you could be 6'5", 280. Matter of fact, you made John Jones call you his pappy, but as soon as you run into your 5'9" father, he will beat the living breaks out of you. And even though we all wanted to fight our father, we none of us have actually did it, because we knew the reality of that. I actually almost did it one time, and there's a reason why I said almost, because I realized very soon that
bro, I don't know if this is a male canon event, but let me know if this is a male canon event when you a kid. Having an older sibling and going to the kitchen to like get a knife whenever they make you mad. I feel like almost every person has did that. That's not just me. There's no way it's not just me. I'm a youngin', you know, my older siblings, they mess with me. I'm getting mad, I'm crying, I'm saying I'm going stab them. I go get a knife out the kitchen, but I don't actually do nothing with it. Anybody else did that? I feel like I'm not the only one that did that, bro. Come on.
I would get my ass absolutely plastered. And I love my life way too much to ever do that to myself. Once you realize that you can't possibly beat your father, you go from fight to flight.
Run away. Yep, I was just about to say that, bro. Saying that you're going to run away. Well, you don't actually say that you're going to run away, but you get your ass whooped. Your mama whoop your ass a couple times. Your dad whoop your ass a couple times, bro. And then you in the kitchen. I mean, you in your room. You then close the door softly and shit. You talking under your breath. You're pacing back and forth. You thinking of a plan to fucking run away and never come back. My nigga, you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. You have nowhere to go. Them streets is dangerous as shit. You run away, you gonna come back a cool couple hours later because you hungry than the motherfucker. You ain't got no money. You know what I mean?
Which leads me to thing number 6. Running away. Every man has thought about running away from home. Brother, I cannot explain to you how many times I thought about running away as a kid. The crazy part about it is I live in a 2-parent household, suburban home, live in Nashville, Tennessee, a predominantly white city. I live in the suburbs of the suburbs. You will see white people walking their dogs and kids playing in the street. I live a good life. I had a good childhood. I even went to private school. But for some reason, whenever my mom pissed me off or my dad did something I didn't want to like, I always thought about getting a big ass stick, a little red piece of cloth, tying it together, and putting all of the important stuff in my life, like the PS4, in the sack, and walking right out. I feel like this is a canon event, not just for guys. I feel like it's everybody. Yeah. We as men are the ones who are actually the closest to doing it. Because I'm not gonna lie, one time I literally started packing my bags because my mom pissed me off so much. And I was almost done doing it. I was so close to committing. And then I realized how badly my mom would beat my ass if I actually ran away, so I just stayed. And that's what usually happens, because it's never worth the beating, because they will find you. But usually that type of stuff will happen when you get grounded. And something else you would do when you're grounded is thing number 7, reading a Diary of Wimpy Kid book. I don't know why we all did this, but we all read that book in our floor whenever our parents took away our phones or our PS4s or whatever. Like, it was just canon event.
That shit never happened to me. That's gotta be some suburban kid shit, because where did you get the book from in the first place? You know what I mean? Where did you get the book from the first place? But no, I've never even read a Diary of a Wimpy Kid book. I know it's about some nigga in school and he be like getting bullied or some shit, but I've never seen the movie. I've never read the book or anything. But yeah, there's got to be like some suburban shit.
To the fullest. And if you wasn't a guy, if you was a girl, you would probably read the Dork Diaries. I feel like guys also read the Big Nate books, stuff like that. It's just that same.
I read that book before.
Genre. And I would always get those books at the Scholastic Book Fair too, bro. Cause like, nigga, whenever that boy.
See, look. He talking about. Look, this is what I'm saying. This is the disconnect with childhoods. You growing up in the suburbs and you growing up in the hood. He talking about some. You will always go to Scholastic Book Fair and get. Bro, real niggas ain't have no money for the Scholastic Book Fair, nigga. Real niggas ain't have no money for that shit when they came to your school. You know what I mean? That's the difference in childhoods right there. You grew up in the suburbs. You talking about having fun at the book fair. Nigga, I was window shopping at the book fairs, nigga. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
Jeff Kenny cooked up a buck, I ain't gonna lie, niggas was on they seats, on they toilet, locked into them joints. I'm not gonna lie. But something that's also tough though is number 8. Realizing you'll never go pro in the sport you love. You know, as a man, I feel like this is actually the most heartbreaking thing you can go through. Because yeah, fumbling a 10 out of 10 is bad, but there will always be more fish in the sea. With your sport though, you only really get one chance at this. And once you finally had that moment of realization that you will never go pro in your sport, whether it's basketball, football, it's truly one of the most heartbreaking things you can ever go through. I remember I was a big basketball player back in middle school, and when I got to high school, I thought it was gonna be the same thing. And then one random day, Darius Garland pulled up to my local gym, and I realized very quickly that NBA was never gonna be a reality. But I was delusional, so I thought, you know what, maybe if I really ball out my freshman year, I can get some looks. You know, I could really go crazy in a good route leading up to my senior year. Well, I was a JV bench player. And I was good too. I was averaging like 20 points a game, but the coaches just didn't mess with me. But then I thought, you know what, maybe the coaches are just, you feel me,
JV bench,
which they were. But then I thought, you know what, maybe I need to transfer somewhere to get more PT. Maybe that's what I really needed. And then I realized that I was never gonna grow past the height of 5'9". Yeah, I haven't grown since freshman year. So yeah, I'm basically trying to say I'm fried. But every man has to go through that phase to realize you're just a regular guy. Just because every motivational speaker tells you that you can do whatever you want in this life doesn't mean you actually can do it. I'm just keeping it real. Because I'm sorry, buddy, if you're 5'4" and you trying to be an NBA basketball player in this economy, in this league, I'm gonna be honest, brother, we have Wimby's playing point guard, bro. You're not Muggsy Bogues, bro. Another tough realization that we've all been through. Realizing that you're in the friend zone. And I don't care who you think you is. We've all been.
But look, this ain't no, but look, you know, bro, there's plenty of niggas overseas. You ain't gotta necessarily play in the NBA. You can go overseas, because what I've heard anyway, I know a guy that, you know, got drafted. Well, he got picked up by the Pacers type shit. He got picked up by the Pacers, and he was on like the Mad Ants, like they G League team and shit. And he was talking about all the politics that kind of go into it. Like, just in case you're a good player, don't necessarily mean that you're going to start or you're going to get as many chances as... Because think about it, the NBA is a business. If me and you are the same player, right, and we on the same trajectory, but let's say I got hurt or something, right, and they paid you a lot of money. They paid you a lot of money to, you know, sign your contract. When I come back, I may be playing even better than you are. But what's going to happen is that he's going to get way more chances than I am, you know, to prove himself, because he's been invested into. They've given him all this money. Hey, we giving you this money, you better produce. And they going to try to force it out of him because they just gave him the money. Meanwhile, me on the other hand, I'm going to have less opportunities because I'm still trying to make it to where he is. But we're in the same, we're in the same spot, same, you know. So, yeah.
As a guy, we've all thought once, if we were a good enough friend to a girl, that she would eventually crack.
Wait, hold on.
In friend zone. And I don't care who you think you is. We've all. Because every motivational speaker tells you that you can do whatever you want in this life, doesn't mean you actually can do it. I'm just keeping it real. Because I'm sorry, buddy, if you're 5'4" and you trying to be an NBA basketball player in this economy, in this league, I'm gonna be honest, brother, we have Wimby's playing point guard, bro. You're not Muggsy Bogues, bro. But another tough realization that we've all been through. Realizing that you're in the friend zone. And I don't care who you think you is. We've all been in this category. As a guy, we've all thought once, if we were a good enough friend to a girl, that she would eventually crack and decide to settle down with us. But another canon event that we've all been through is realizing that that's not how life works. As a matter of fact, she actually knows that you like her, yet she doesn't care, and she'll still use you for free car rides, free money, free food, and free attention.
Guys, this is, I ain't gonna lie, like, this is what really grinds my gears, because you would think in life, bro, it took me so long to realize this, bro. You would think in life that if you're a good person and you do the right things, that you're gonna get what you deserve. My nigga, shit has never been less true, my nigga. Shit has never been, bro, you thinking you about to take this girl out to eat and treat her like a queen. Nigga, she doesn't want to fucking be treated like a queen, buddy. She wants to be she wants her emotions going up and down and thinking she's in some type of drama movie and the bad guy's gonna sweep her off her feet, and then later on she'll realize she made the mistake, and then you guys will be together, and then you're riding to the fucking sunset. No, nigga, no. That's why, bro. If you one of those guys in 2025, when women are basically moving how guys are, women are out here getting clapped and pushing niggas to the side, just like men. So if you in 2025 still trying to do the best friend route to clap some cheeks, oh, my nigga, you better get with the waves right now. Let me come slap you. Let me come slap you. Because you doing this in 2025. Damn near every girl is moving like a guy. They getting clapped as much as guys. There's no more rules. There's no more gender roles or anything like that. These shorties, if they want to get clapped, they're going to get clapped. So your ass thinking that you finna get on her good side, and she done ran up 100 bodies in a week, and you just trying to get a little bitty piece, trying to play the long game, getting used, going on dates, to hopefully just squeeze, pillow talking shit about her mans, downplaying people she likes, pillow talking, trying to get on her good side, disrespecting the guy, get on her good side just so you can maybe possibly get some cheeks. Bro, I hate you type of niggas, bro, for real. Y'all some of the worst niggas to walk the planet. Y'all some of the worst niggas to walk the planet, bro, for real. For real, bro.
One of the toughest realities we had to learn as a man, but every man has to go through it. I remember I was 13 and there was this girl I liked and she broke her foot. So I offered literally carry her around the school because we were just good friends. She actually ended up getting pregnant by another guy at 13, but that's a different story.
Whoa!
The thing that we all had to go through is going to the bathroom in a public setting and not knowing the urinal rule. And every single guy watching this video knows exactly what I'm talking about. I remember as a kid, I was at my school, and it was like a student-teacher day or whatever, I don't know. And for some reason, the parents were on campus. And I walked into the bathroom, and there was a grown-ass man using the left urinal. And the middle and right one were open. And according to the urinal rule, if there's 3 urinals, you have to use the left, you have to use the right, and there's the center one, it's the only one available, you wait your turn. Right. Unless they have blockers or binders where you don't gotta see another man's pee. But as a kid, I didn't know that, so I ended up using the middle one right beside him. And I remember to this day, the look that this man gave me was a look of absolute disgust. I'm not gonna lie. And as soon as he got done pissing, turned to me, patted me on the back, and said, "Son, heads up, whenever you use the bathroom, you never piss right beside another man." I've never seen that man ever again, but I thank that man for truly changing my life. But this is one of those rules that once you learn it, never forget it, or else niggas will clown you. Something else that we've all been through in the bathroom, though, is being around that one kid who decides to just pull down his whole pants just to take a little piss in the urinal. Back in elementary school, brother, this one was horrible. Usually, it will be the special ed kids, but at the same time, it's like, brother, please have some common sense. That's such a great statement. And usually, they would be farting too, and they would just stink. But at the same time, we've all done it when we was younger, and then we had a grown man walk into the bathroom and instruct us to never do that again, and then we changed our ways. Something that we haven't changed as guys is number 11 or 12, I don't know at this point. Putting your hands in your pants for warmth on an ice cold freezing day. This one I know we've all done. I'm actually doing it right now. I'm not gonna lie. And no matter if you want to be honest or deny it, we've all done it. Let's just keep it real. And it's amazing. It's one of the most sensational feelings ever. You get to put your hand next to life. It's amazing. I don't know. It's just vibe. Right. Here's the thing with this stuff. You gotta be very careful where you do this act, because doing it while nobody's around is cool, but if you're in a crowded room space and you just got your hands in your pants,
I will never forget, bro. One time I was down, like it was spring break, and I was down there for like the beach, and I used to have a bad habit of doing that. And like my hands were in my pants, and then the police walked by, and he was like, "Get your fucking hands out your pants." And I'm like, I'm a young, rebellious fucking teenager and shit. And I'm like, the fuck? And then plus I'm from the hood and shit, so I didn't have any respect for any police officers and shit like that. So he's like, "Get your hands out your pants." As he walked by, he could have just been like, "Sir, can you take your hands out?" He's like, "Get your hands out your pants." And he just kept on walking by. And so I'm like, what the fuck? So he started walking by, put him back. He come back around. Listen, don't be rebellious, blah, 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 blah. Take your hands out the pants, blah, blah, blah. It's people in public and shit. I'm like, all right, man. But I do remember a situation like this.
Crazy. That's where the creep allegations come in, and you don't want that. They don't understand, but at the same time, let be classy. But speaking of balls, the next Canon event that we've all been through is chilling around the house playing GTA or Fortnite or something, and then all of a sudden, randomly, you just feel a sharp pain in your balls, and you just start clenching them. You start grabbing them. You start praying to God because you think that you'll never have kids again. You start wondering if you have cancer, or maybe you got an STD, or maybe if you gooned too much. I don't know what you did. And then after it goes away, you immediately get on your knees and pray to God, promising him you would never jerk off again if he heals.
I don't know if I've had that before. And then
3 nights later, you end up jerking off again. But hey, game is game. But after you goon, you get a negative feeling. You feel shame. You promise to God you will never do it again, yet you feel defeated. See, this right here is what we call post-nut clarity, which is the next Canon event and probably the most popular one, because the only time that you won't feel this is after the first one you do. do back when you were most likely younger, which is sick, honestly. It's sad that so many little kids are gooning, but it's whatever, I guess. And after that first goon, you felt alive. You felt like you just discovered the greatest thing on earth.
Right.
And after that second one, you really quickly realized that you just formed and started an addiction that you'll be very lucky to get out of. There's downhill, and you just keep on getting more downhill until you eventually stop and become a better human being, which a lot of y'all haven't done. Let's just keep it real. At the same time, though, you'll never escape post-nut clarity, even though I had one homie who did it like 10 times a day, and apparently he just stopped having it, but he also looked very depressed, so I think he just had it permanently. Y'all already know what I'm finna say, though. Game is game, jizzle is jizzle, and don't fiddle your pickle. Let's get to it. But it's a part of being a man, and game is game, and that's just how life is. When you retain that, though, you will get superpowers. Powers that would never be feasible to that average gooning man. And you do that as soon as you get into the next canon event, aka semen retention. Every single man has gone through this. I don't care what y'all say. We've all gone through semen retention. We thought that by holding our seed, we would turn into spiritual soul or something. In all reality, you kind of do. I'm not gonna lie. You kind of get superpowers. You feel like you can move mountains, start thinking more clearly, you start getting more ideas. There's really no negative to holding your seed. And then we eventually all fail. But at the same time, we keep on going. But the first time you go on this path, you think you're a superior human being, though. You think you're better than everybody because you can hold your seed, and you call all of the regular 1 to 2 time a week gooners peasants in your eyes. You think they're just weak, inferior beings, and that's just how you will think until you eventually become one of them again. Game is game. But the last canon event I want to talk about is video games falling off as you get older. This is more of a maturity thing. As you get older, I don't know if it's just me, but like video games just aren't as fun anymore. Like the only games I play now is NCAA, and it's really just to cool down and just to beat my friends. I'm not gonna lie. I can't get immersed in a game nowadays like I did back when I was younger. Maybe it's because I got responsibilities, or maybe it's just because games fell off. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of sad. Hopefully GTA 6 can bring that back out of me, but till then, we will see. But I feel like every man kind of goes through this, and if you didn't, shouts out to you. But hey, go ahead and tell me anything I missed. If you like this video, go tap into my streams.
Nice, man. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a W video, bro. It talked about a lot of points. You know, I do want to get on the subject of, bro, don't do no God best friend shit in 2025. Do not, bro. Please don't be that guy. Please, bro. Please. Also, don't be the guy that be hyping shorties up and boosting girls. Bro, this is the main reason that I don't like guys that sit in the friend zone. Because, bro, guys that sit in the friend zone, and I'm talking about guys that sit in the friend zone with like no other options. I'm talking about guys that are in love with this girl and just waiting for her to crack so they can get a piece of her, and they're waiting for her to, you know, be heartbroken so they can slide their way in and possibly have a chance, and they buying their food, and she's explaining to him all the last guy that fucking demolished her cheeks, and like, bro, these are the type of guy best friend with simps that I hate these type of guys, bro. I hate these because things have gotten back to me about girls that, like, you know, got guy friends and shit. Me looking at it, you know, and I've told y'all I've been like an asshole to girls for the most part. Like, my history of, like, you know, my relationships with women, I've been a piece of shit. You know, I'm gonna keep it a buck. And so, but for some reason though, the shorties always come back to the assholes every time. Every time. I don't know if they think they about to fix them or what. So whenever a girl comes back to me, or, you know, or she feels comfortable enough to forgive me for what I've done, she gets to talking about, oh, my friends said this. They said you probably did this. You probably did that. And this. And they doing all this just for this same girl to still come back to me and get clocked. You niggas are sick, dog. Y'all sick. Talking on another man is crazy. Talking on another man is crazy, bro. Especially if you just want a piece. Grab your fucking balls. Man up. Let her know what's up. If she say yes or no, it'll save you a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of faking. You don't got to hear about her getting her cheeks clapped and all this other bullshit. Man up and let her know what's happening if you really, really like that girl. Because I'm friends with girls type shit that I would smash. You know, but I don't love these girls like that. I'm not sitting waiting so I could possibly get a piece. No, my nigga, we friends and we chilling and we cool and we cordial. One thing that's not gonna happen though is I'm not buying you food and shit, because that's not how it work. Go get you a man's, go finesse you somebody to buy you some food. I don't want to hear about your sexual life because I'm not a fucking girl. I want to hear about some guy clapping you and all this other shit. I don't want to hear that. I don't tell you what this girl did to me and what her did and what her body was like, and I don't tell you that. Just shut your fucking mouth. You know what I mean? I'm not a girl. That's woman talk. So But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, man. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. And what I'm going to do, catch you in the next video. Bow.